This time I'm going to call our meeting to get order. It's a meeting of Northampton County Board of Commissioners. We're certainly thankful and to have all of you come and join in with us tonight as we go through the agenda and as we take care of the business for Northampton County. Again, thank you for coming and sharing with us. We certainly invite you at all times to come and to share with us in our meetings. We do note that reason that we're here is because we're our county. We're proud of our county, and we want to do all we possibly can to make our county all that it can possibly be. We also note that we come together with a mission statement. Mission statements are given to us. They're on the wall. It's about us, what we can do for our county. It's about what we can do to make our county better. Our vision statement basically saying to you that we want to do things today that will make our county better tomorrow. What will Northampton County look like 10 years from now, 20 years from now? So what we do will certainly have an effect on what will happen in Northampton County. So we do tonight, as we come seriously to do the business of our county. And we certainly want to thank our Board of Commissioners for coming and joining with us tonight. We note that Vice Chairman Faulkner might be late coming because she's in another meeting with the Northampton County Board of Education. At this time, because of all that we have going on around us, I'm going to ask you to please have a moment of silence, just for one moment, please, with me. Thank you so much. At this time, I would like for you to stand with me and please look at our flag and let us all repeat together.
Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. What we have right now is the agenda. All who came in, there was agenda over there on the table, and I certainly hope that you got one, and you certainly please have one and follow us as we move right along. Also, if there are those who like to speak to the board, you have an information sheet over there that talks about your wanting to speak to the board on any subject that you like. We at this time note, board members, you got your agenda, and you had your agenda to look at and to go over. I would like at this time for approval of this agenda that you have for November 7th.
Chairman Town, I make a motion that we approve our agenda for November 7, 2022. Second, Buffalo.
Moved and properly second, we would approve the agenda as given. Are there any question or any discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by you, your sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye.
Aye, Boone.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you so much. At this time, we have a conflict of interest statement. I'm going to ask Commissioner Boone to please read that conflict of interest statement.
Yes, sir. In accordance with the rules of procedures adopted by this board in section 153A-44 of the North Carolina General Statutes, it is the duty of every member present to vote on all matters coming before the board, unless there is a conflict of interest as determined by the board or by law. Does any board member have a conflict of interest with respect to any agenda item coming before the board today? If so, please identify the conflict and the board will consider the matter.
Board members, are there any conflicts?
No conflict, Buffalo.
No conflict.
No conflict, Boone.
Thank you. We shall move along, move ahead with our agenda. We have a public hearing. Consent agenda. Do we have any board members?
Mhm.
Board members are included. Board members, do you, what is your pleasure about the board minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Move the proper second to approve the consent agenda. Are there any questions, discussion? Not. All in favor, let known by you sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye.
Aye, Boone.
Ayes have it. Motion is carried. Thank you so much. At this time now, we should go. I'm going to ask our attorney to lead us in this our public hearing, the revals for values, rules, and standards. We're going to adjourn this regular meeting, go into public hearing. At this time, ask our tax administrator.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Chairman,
The
members of the board, county
evening.
manager, county attorney. This is a public hearing. I am Catherine Lane on behalf of Pearson's Appraisal. The public hearing pursuant to 105-317 is to hear and receive public comments regarding the 2023 proposed schedule of values. Those values were presented to the board, of course, at the regular meeting, October 17th. They have been on public display in the tax department as well as the county manager's office. And they have been advertised accordingly in the paper as to this public hearing. They're also on the county website for your review. This public hearing is really the second step in the process of the adoption of the schedule of values. Anybody who has any comments, I'll be happy to take those this evening, or if the board has any comments or questions. Yes, sir.
No, I don't. We continue with the number 3, market value schedules.
That's right. Yes, sir. The market value schedules are incorporated in the schedule as well as the present use. If you look under section K, the land use rates, that is for your farm program, they are also included and presented accordingly. They are designated by Department of Revenue with the Use Advisory Board. They come out every year, but only those reappraisal counties are to use those new rates, if you will. So we did have some changes in those, some increase in forestry, ag, horticulture, according to what the Use Advisory Board recommends. And many counties across the state use that and adopt that schedule. As we move forward in presenting and for the adoption, we would ask the board to have those in 2 separate adoption processes, if you will. But tonight is for the public hearing. Simply, we're at that phase right now, Mr. Chairman.
So since we are at a public hearing, if there are any persons present who desire to make a comment about reval, please do so at this time. Any person. Any persons. Well, we'll close the public hearing section of this. And now we will direct our staff to continue to make this, to bring this forward to us at our next meeting. Please bring it to us with time for us to adopt it, so we have it in time for you to do all the paperwork and everything that you need to do. Okay. Now we shall continue. At this time, I'm going to ask Mr. Newell, if you'll please come forward.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners. I come before you tonight with a bid proposal to remount and refurbish an existing county ambulance. The ambulance that we're talking about has been out of service for a number of years. It's sitting at the landfill. And what we want to do is take the box off the back and put it on a new cab and chassis. And they'll go in and refurbish all the electrical parts and the floors and the upholstery. And when we get it back, it'll basically be a brand new ambulance. We did have quite a hard time getting the bid or bidders to this particular project because there is a drastic shortage of chassis in the United States and also computer chips to run the various parts on the ambulances. So we didn't get but two bids, one from Emergency Transportation Associates and one from Statline Industries. And I recommend that we approve the lowest bidder, which was Emergency Transportation Associates.
Thank you. Board members, you have any question about the release? Mr. Noah, any questions? Want to remount the ambulance for us? This will be an additional ambulance that you have on.
Yes, we'll put it into our fleet and we'll move our frontline truck back to as a pool truck to, if we have a breakdown or have to send them to the shop, but then we have to pull that one back up. There.
So you feeling very comfortable with the person whom you got your bids from?
Well, I do not know anything about this company. We've never dealt with this company. There are some, they're located out of Rock Hill, South Carolina, and there are some county governments in the southern part of North Carolina, such as Scotland County, Gaston County, some counties out that way who has dealt with them, and they do work on a regular basis with them. He did provide some references. I did check on the references, and they said they didn't have any problem with his workmanship. But as you can see here, I listed 5. We had a lot of people come out and attempt to bid, but they just called me back, and I think I did enclose in your packet an email where actually one of them sent me an email back saying that he had declined to bid because he couldn't get a chassis. So I've done my due diligence to check that company out, and I couldn't find anything.
Board members, got a question you need to ask? County manager, you have any question?
I don't have any questions. This is a budgeted item,
Already in the budget.
sir.
Thank you.
Second.
Move proper second to approve the request coming to us for ambulance. Are there any questions? Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, let know by you just sign aye.
Aye, Buffalo.
Aye.
Aye, Boone.
Motion's carried.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Board of Commissioners.
Mr. Newell, we appreciate all that you're doing and appreciate how you are responding in our county. Let me now talk to our tax administrator. Will you please come?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Greetings from the Northampton County Tax Department. I'm before you this evening to obtain the board's approval for 2 motor vehicle appeals that amount to $71.16. The Board of Commissioners, actually, I'm sorry, property owner has requested in writing that we appeal these to you all. And you can, the Board of Commission has the authority to grant these refunds for the following 3 reasons: a tax imposed through clerical error, an illegal tax, and a tax levied for an illegal purpose.
This is for the $71.
Yes, sir.
Christine said, board members, you have before you people who are requesting that refund. What is your pleasure?
I make a motion for approval of the refunds as presented by our tax administrator this evening in the amount of $71.16. Second.
One proper second that we will refund the amount $71.16. Are there any questions or any discussion from any of the board members? If not, all in favor, let know by you sign aye.
I Buffalo.
I Boone.
Aye.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you. Continue on with Avalon and Tax.
Okay, I have another ad valorem appeal that taxpayers requested that I come to you on their behalf, and that amount is $5,397.47. That is on 18 appeals. Again, the Board of Commissioners do have the authority to grant the release or refund due to the following three reasons: a tax imposed through clerical error, an illegal tax, and a tax levied for an illegal purpose. It's my recommendation that the board grant the refund and releases in the amount of $5,397.47.
Board members, you have before you those who appealed be refunded. I want to know what is your pleasure?
Chairman Tyner, I make a motion that we approve the request for release of the ad valorem tax appeals in the amount of $5,397.47.
I have a second.
Second.
Second, moving proper second that we would do the refund. At this time, are there any questions or any discussion about this? The reason for each refund is listed. Any questions, discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by usual sign aye.
I Buffalo.
I Boone.
Aye.
Let's have it. Motion is carried. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Proclamation of Edward A. Porter Senior. We note that our vice chair is not here. I ask you, Buffalo, will you please read the proclamation for me, please?
Sir. Proclamation for Edward A. Porter Senior. Northampton County Board of Commissioners proclamation in honor of Edward A. Porter Senior. Whereas Edward A. Porter Senior has dedicated his life to the fire service and the protection of life and property from loss by fire and other emergency situations. Whereas Mr. Porter joined Rosedale Volunteer Fire Department in Baltimore County, Maryland in 1953 at the age of 16 and became a lifetime member in 1983 and further served the Baltimore County Police Department from 1959 until his retirement in 1980 as a lieutenant. Whereas Mr. Porter was also a member of the Maryland Army National Guard, serving as a medic from 1958 until his discharge in 1964. Whereas Mr. Porter moved to Northampton County in 1983, where he served as a preacher in a local church and joined Gaston Fire Rescue EMS, where he currently serves as its deputy chief. Whereas Mr. Porter was hired by Halifax Community College in 1989 and has been its fire and rescue coordinator and department chair of the Criminal Justice Department, where he still teaches as an instructor. Whereas at the soon-to-be age of 86, Mr. Porter is still active and will even climb into the fire engine to respond to calls for service in his community. And whereas the Northampton County Board of Commissioners finds that it is in the best interest of the county and its citizens to recognize, honor, and thank Mr. Porter for his 70 years of service. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Northampton County Board of Commissioners does hereby express great appreciation, admiration, and gratitude for Edward A. Porter Senior for his 70 years of dedicated service as a firefighter and extends its best wishes to him on the occasion of this anniversary. This, the 7th day of November, 2022, Charles R. Tyner, Senior Chair, Northampton County Board of Commissioners, attested by Akia K. Robertson, clerk to the board.
And tonight to thank Porter again for his service. He's rendered to Northampton County citizens. We do note that emergency is emergency. and especially when it comes to knocking at your door. We don't realize sometimes how important their work is until we need it at our doorstep. Say to Mr. Porter, if you're listening, thank you for all your service. Will you please let him know, Northampton County Board of Commissioners, thank him for all that he's done for the citizens of this county. It's dangerous out there. We want to say thank you. At this time, I'll ask for a motion that we would accept this resolution this time.
Chairman Tyner, make a motion that we accept the proclamation in honor of Mr. Edward A. Porter Senior.
Second.
Move the proper second, we would accept this reclamation in honor of Edward E. Porter Senior. Are there any questions or any questions? Anyone has a discussion? Other board members have discussion?
No, sir.
Okay, if not, all in favor, let it be known by you, your sign aye.
I, Buffalo.
Aye.
I, Boone.
Let's have it, motion is carried. Thank you so much. At this time, board members, we shall continue on and begin to financial matters. Mr. Phillips, who's filling in now as our interim finance officer, as well as our person, the county manager, has some things that he want to bring before us, financial matters. Mr. Phillips.
Thank you very much, and good evening again, everyone.
It
I have a few items just to go over. First is going to be 4 budget amendments, and I'll go over 4 budget amendments, and then you all can vote on them as we've done in the past. The first one is budget amendment number 15, and it's to recognize a grant revenue that was received for the Veteran Service Program in the amount of $2,108.69. So what we're doing is receiving that money's in, and we're adjusting the fund balance to reduce the fund balance because we budgeted for these items this year. So that's basically a wash. Budget amendment number 16 is to move the unused balance of the Sheriff Excess Property Fund in the amount of $31,600. And what we do is remove this money every year whenever the balance is left from the previous fiscal year. So this is the balance from the previous fiscal year that we basically just moving into the current year for the sheriff to use as he sees fit. Budget amendment number 17 is a new funding, and it's for the Health Department COVID Communicable Disease Pandemic Recovery in the amount of $213,296. That's new funds received from the state. And then the final budget amendment is budget amendment number 18. And that is to recognize insurance reimbursement in the amount of $2,250. That is all for the budget amendments for today.
Well, I asked for a motion. I've asked in the board members, you got any concerns about any of the budget amendments? These amendments does not take from our general funds. These are budget amendments of funds that have come to us and additional funds that's coming to us. If y'all have any questions you need to ask our county manager about those any questions?
No question.
No questions?
No questions.
Okay, at this time, could I have a motion from you that the 4 budget amendments that we have that you would approve them.
Chairman Town, I make a motion that we approve budget amendment number 15, number 16, number 17, and number 18, and the amounts as presented by County Manager Phillips.
Second.
With a proper second, we will certainly approve the budget amendments that have been presented to us. Are there any questions or any other discussion? If not, all in favor, let it be known by you, your sign aye.
Hi, Buffalo.
Aye.
I Boone.
Ayes have it. And it's carried. Next, we shall have is the citizens, county manager, and board comments.
I do have a couple of other items.
Okay, you have, okay.
Sorry about that. The second item is the year-to-date budget report. And included in your package, you should find a year-to-date budget report for the period ending October 31, 22. And what we're doing here is we're basically showing what we spent year-to-date October, the percentage of the budget that was used. And I gave you all a rule of thumb, so you can see for each month that we go by, what percentage we should be spending, or at least not, we shouldn't be spending more than that percentage. So you can see for the month of October, the rule of thumb is to be no more than 33% spend. And the way that I've presented it is I looked at the general fund, the enterprise, Garysburg water and sewer and solid waste. And I gave you the percentage that was spent year to date, October, for each of them. I gave you the actual spend, and then I gave you the actual spend plus the encumbrance. So again, the encumbrance is all of the POs that are open and out there. That hasn't, we haven't received a bill for those items yet. So you can look at the actual spend plus encumbrances for each of those major categories of the general fund, enterprise fund, Garysburg water and sewer, and solid and waste. And you can see that we're well within the percentage, the rule of thumb, 18.8%, 19.3%, 14% respectively. You get to the solid waste, it's 18.5%. But I put a note there, it's 18 and it's 88.5% because we issued a blanket PO at the beginning of the year for the curbside pickup. So that amount of money is included the entire amount for the year. So as we get further into the year, that percentage will equal out. We should be fine with that. I've also included the actual report from Munis, our accounting system. So you can look at each of the funds and the major categories and the percentages, so that if you see anything on there that you have any questions, feel free to ask. What I like to do is look to see if we have anything, on the expense side, especially if there are anything in negative that we need to address, any significant negatives, which we don't want. That's something that our LGC will be looking at in a couple of months, because we'll have to send this report to the LGC so that they can see how well we're doing. So I'm keeping on top of that, and I'm communicating that with department heads in our monthly department head meetings. It's a good report as you can see, our percentages are pretty much below the rule of thumb. So that's a good thing. That's all I have for the budget report at the end of October 31st.
Well, members, in the comments? Any comments?
No.
Thank you for the financial report.
Thank you. Thank you. Letting us know where we are. We don't get to the end of the year and then we decide we've overspent. Getting this report, we see that we are where we need to be at this time of the year. Are there any other reports that you have?
Just one other thing, it's not really a report to go over tonight, but I included in this packet the playground proposal that we have for Creasy. What we did there is we actually partnered with the school system as they were looking to get playgrounds installed in their schools schoolyards, and the quotes that came back, it's just too high. I think the minimum was about 100K. So what we did is we went back and we got another vendor to come back and give us a proposal for Creasy, and that's included in this package. So I want you all to get that tonight, to
Thank
be able to go back and study it, and then we can discuss it at a later time. And again, just for general knowledge, the county owns Creasy, so that's why we're looking at this. And that's all I have for tonight. Thank you very much.
Chad? Board members, are there any questions you need to ask the county manager?
No question.
Doing all to us in black and white.
Mm.
See it. Okay. At this time, okay, thank you. At this time, we shall move forward. We'll go to citizens' comments. Any, we have one, is there any other? Okay, at this time, Mr. Sykes, it's not Sykes, it's coming forward. Mr. Attorney, will you give him the rules?
Sir,
Start with some,
he asked me to go over the groundwork, so bear with me 1 second. Your comments will be limited to 5 minutes maximum. The chair will cut off all speakers exceeding their allotted time. Should you have any questions of the board, you will receive a subsequent oral or written response from this board or county staff. The board will not respond or otherwise engage in a dialogue with you during your allotted time. If the board is unable to hear your comments at this meeting, please leave your written concerns with the clerk to the board, and we will see that you receive a response. Pursuant to section 153A-52.1 of the North Carolina General Statutes, time is allotted on the agenda for citizen comments for the purposes of allowing public commentary on county business. This time is not an open forum to be publicly critical of the performance of any county commissioner or county employee, and the chair will maintain the order and decorum of the meeting. Thank you.
Sykes.
got some old business and some very old business and some new business. The first thing I'd like to address, and I don't know whether I need to address this to you or to our county manager. It's been the last minutes that were put on the county website from the county commissioner meeting was September 8th of 2021. I don't know of any entity that takes that long to put the minutes up. So is there any plausible reason for that?
Can't answer, but we'll.
Okay. The second thing is, as far as our most recent audit, I still do not see that on the county website, or I can't find it. May not be able to find it. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is, when you go this period of time, 14, 15 months, and you hadn't put the minutes up, that's not very good business. I bet your school board doesn't do that. I'm not asking for comment, I'm making a statement. So the second thing is very old business. And all of you probably remember this when your commissioners meeting came to Conway a number of years ago, several years ago, back in 2019. Wayne Jenkins spoke that night. He has had some health issues and he's not here tonight, so I'm representing him. He asked for quite a bit of information that was provided to you that night. He got no response. It was pushing 12 months later where our county attorney called him and told him that info had been misplaced, and he forwarded it to you a second time. So I'm going to get you to read the paragraph.
I'm not gonna read it.
Okay, that's fine. Well, so we're looking 3 years with no response. So I'll read the gist of it, and this will become even more detailed, what we want. By the way, in the spirit of transparency, repeatedly declared at your November 12th meeting, that was 2019, consistent with North Carolina General Statute, Chapter 132, Public Records, what is the current revolving loan fund balance? What loans have been made since January of 2018? And what is the payment status of those loans? Please provide me a copy of the revolving loan fund guidelines by which the Food Fresh Jackson Grocery Store was approved. A copy of the related executed loan agreement, including the schedule of payments and accounting of payments made to date. So let's bump that made to date up to 2023. Okay. So when can we expect a response back to this? It's been 3 years already. No response? Well, let me tell you what's going to happen. You've had 3 years to respond. 10 business days. I expect Mr. Jenkins to get a response. If he does not, we'll call the state auditor's office. We'll call the North Carolina Bar Association and ask them the question, is that a normal period of time? Take 3 years for a general response. Would you deem that to be appropriate? So will he get a response in 10 days? You can't answer that?
I'll respond to him tomorrow, Mr. Sykes.
Good, good.
By the way, he can pick up his telephone and call me, as can you, for playing these surprise tactics. Thank you.
It's just facts. If you read it, you'll see what it is. You had 2 opportunities. You had to, no, let me finish. I'm talking. I'm talking. Don't interrupt me. Okay? You had 2 previous opportunities to respond. And you chose not to do that. Whether you were instructed not to do that or you chose not to do it, you did not respond. So that's very clear. That can't be debated. Okay? The third thing that's even more troubling than that is in the last 2 weeks, I have received 3 phone calls from rank and file county employees that have complained about duplicate payments, people getting paid that no longer work for the county, the possibility that retirement contributions were not done correctly. So I have told all of those people, and a troubling thing for me, county manager, is why they would call me and not call you. I don't know, but they did. 3 different county employees, long-term county employees, rank and file people, just like they're making a living. So if those things are true, what I have encouraged them to do is call Beth Wood's office in Raleigh, state auditor. And I think very clearly that's something that needs to be done. I think the state of North Carolina needs to come in and look at a number of things that we have not been able to get an answer to, and a lot of other things too. Okay. Charles, how old are you? You can answer that question.
Talk to me after the meeting.
I don't have time, sir.
Yeah, okay, you got time tonight, but you don't have time.
I've had time. Yeah. You know what my phone number is if you want to call me. I think I've wasted enough time.
Thank you. Thank you. Another citizens? That's all. That's enough. Okay. This time we should move forward. I'm gonna ask the county manager, you have any report, other information?
I don't have anything additional, just, as always, just want to thank citizens, employees for coming out and supporting and showing your interest and, your care for the county.
Board members, you have an opportunity now to say whatever you desire to say. At this time, I'm going to start with you.
Yes, sir. Good evening. I just want to remind the citizens that on Wednesday, there will be a military expo at Halifax Community College. It's their 2nd annual expo for our veterans from 9 until 2. And also here in the county at the library at 11 o'clock, they will host a program for our veterans as well. And on Friday, weather permitting, we're planning to do a drive-through luncheon for our veterans after the conclusion of the program at the Courthouse Square at 11 o'clock. Those are my comments. If you have any questions, you can see me or give me a call. Thank you.
How about Ms.
I do have an announcement on behalf of Northampton County High School and communities and schools of North Carolina. The Northampton County High School will be having a parent night, and this is a theme entitled Nacho, meaning nacho cheese, nacho average parent night. They are inviting parents, they're inviting family members, students, of course, and community members out to the high school to join in for a night of honoring and recognizing student achievement. They will be recognizing their honor roll students. They'll be recognizing students who have had perfect attendance or have met certain attendance rate percentages. There will be parent and teacher talks. There will be parent and student games, as well as student and staff games. So they are inviting, again, parents, families, and the community out to participate in this engagement opportunity. And it's something positive. There's always something negative that has to be said about our school, but this is something positive to honor students who are engaging in school, who are putting forth their best efforts, to honor parents for all of their efforts, and then to also recognize, again, staff for all of their efforts. This is taking place at Northampton County High School, 152 Hurricane Drive in Gaston. If you have any questions, if you would like to come out, volunteer, if you want to donate prizes or anything towards the youth of Northampton County High School and families, you can contact the high school at 252-537-1910. Again, the number is 252-537-1910. And you can ask to speak to myself or anyone that is a part of the Northampton County High School support team. Thank you. Tuesday, November 15th, 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Tuesday, November 15th, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. We would love to see you there. Community members, community partners, agencies, organizations, for something positive. Thank you.
Mr. Evans?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to echo, piggyback off what Commissioner Buffalo stated, Veterans Day. We all know that freedom is not free. So let's make sure we honor veterans who paved the way for us to sit where we're sitting today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That's my comments.
Thank you.
Some other things.
Yes.
The green lights that you might see along the buildings. We've been asked to display lights from today through the end of the week in reference and memory of and in support of our veterans. So if you have a green light at home, please turn it on this week and show support for the veterans. Thank you.
And Chairman Tyler, one more thing. I don't want to omit this. This month is Native American Heritage Month. And so I just wanted to acknowledge that, being that we are currently sitting on land that was first Native American and or indigenous people land. And so I've been charged as a member of a diversity, equity, and inclusion committee to bring awareness to that, to speak to it at every chance I get. And so I want to acknowledge again, it is Native American Heritage Month, and acknowledge the land in which we sit tonight. Thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to say that Halifax Community College did host a program for Native Americans on last Wednesday at the college. It's a beautiful program. Hopefully next year for the 14th annual one, the citizens will come out and support. Thank you.
Thank you. Any others? Chairman of this board, let me thank all of you commissioners for all your comments, all that you do in Northampton County. I do want to mention one announcement, one thing that has come about that's new to us. that the North Carolina, the U.S. Department of Agriculture has named Northampton County as one of those counties that they will be happy in the next 3 years. They're going to be sending some people down here to our county, along with Halifax County. It's going to be working with us to get us things that we need as water, sewer, anything dealing with businesses. They're going to send. It was competitive. We went to the meeting last week in Wilson, and we won out. So we will be receiving funds from the United States Department of Agriculture that can be used for the kinds of things that I just designated. We also want you to know that we in Northampton County are proud of our county. We really are. And I don't know why it is. If you got a concern, you got something you want to ask, all you do is come and ask the county manager. I ask myself, we give you anything that you want. The audit, so forth, is all on record. It's all on record. All you got to do is just go and look it up. But I also want you to know that we're planning to continue to make Northampton County all that we can possibly make it. We can do it if all of us work together, come together with an understanding. We can make Northampton County all it needs to be. We do know that we have small businesses that continues to open in our county. I went to one of the largest grand openings that I've ever been to in Northampton County. And I've been to all of them in the last, I think, 8 years. In Garrisburg, biggest place there on 301. I know there was 300 people who showed up there for the grocery store and also for the restaurant. Probably seen it on Facebook, but at any rate, we welcome in our county small businesses. We know that in order for our county to move forward, we cannot depend on large businesses coming to our county, but we can depend on small businesses. But that won't require as many employees. We know that Lowe's right now, the president of Lowe's, the manager of Lowe's called, what can you do to help us find some employees? What can you do to help us find some employees? So we do know when we open small businesses, it helps us. Not only helps us in by employing people, small businesses help us because of the fact the sales tax comes back. Every time you pay sales tax, it's come back to Northampton County. It helps us every time when we have a small business of that nature to open up. Northampton County is your county. We'll continue to be your county. Anything that you want to ask, anything that you don't understand, feel free to call. It is that we led to by the state of North Carolina. The LGC, they monitor us all the time. County manager just told you. They're the ones who monitor us, making sure that what we do is right. Making sure they are backup to making sure that whatever we do is correct. So I please Northampton County folks, let's not get off course. Let's stay on course to continue to improve what we have in Northampton County. No one is coming to Northampton County to give us anything. No one is coming. They're going to stop in Raleigh. They even stop in Rocky Mount before they come to Northampton County. So we got to do all we can to encourage and boost our economy in Northampton County. I think our farmers this year are blessed. That's our greatest commodity is in the field. That we're blessed this year because when they do good, we all do good. But when they're not doing good, we got to have a backup. That backup ought to be our small business. Again, thank you. County manager, I want to say I also know Somebody said something about diesel, fuel might be shortage. Just make sure we keep our tanks topped off, please. Just want to mention that to you. We need to say same thing to the school system during this time. Okay, board members, those are the comments that I need to make tonight. We look forward to everybody going to the polls and voting. If you haven't voted, on tomorrow, and we'll see the results on tomorrow night. God's will. Okay. If there be nothing else, board members, anything else on your agenda? Anything else you need to say? Yes. This time I'd like to make a motion that we would go in closed session. There is item that we need to discuss in closed session.
Chairman Town, I make a motion that we enter into closed session. Chairman Town, I make a motion that we enter into closed session regarding GS 143-318, 11A6 for personnel, A3 for attorney-client privilege, and A4 EDC report.
Second.
Proper second, we go to closed session. Any question and discussion? All in favor, let nobody hear you sign aye.
Hi, Buffalo.
Ayes have it, motion is carried. Thank you all for coming and joining. If y'all got any questions anytime, all you